Hi everyone, welcome. This is Gem314 Tarot. I hope you find you all well. Thank you for returning, and hello if you're new. Air signs, we have a grand trine in air today. We're going to talk about it. This spread turns out it's excuse me for stuttering. Air sign, I do stutter. I apologize. Let me gather my thoughts real quick. We have in the spread a lot of major arcana, which usually means that there are things happening out of our control. But in this case, not only is that true, but they're telling me that this means that there are a lot of topics, high ideas that are really heavy that are being processed in the collective right now. So the first card we laid out from the first light tarot, we got the Hierophant. That's Taurus energy. Let's see what's going on in Taurus again. Okay, the moon is there, and Uranus is there. So, okay, we did deal with Taurus yesterday and the day before. So if you want to go back and refresh on the Taurus readings, that would be good. But the Hierophant has to do with tradition and security and things like that. Darn it, hang on a second. I'm pushing all the wrong buttons here. So this has to do with authority and not authority, traditions and doctrine and things like that, structure. All the earth signs have something to do with structure in a way. This is wisdom, understanding, mentoring, and training. But it also has, because the Hierophant represents the Pope. It's called the High Priest. I don't know why they call it the Hierophant. Well, they call it the High Priest also, the Pope. The Keeper, interpreter, and teacher of divine law. So there are ideas of, see, it's hard to explain because they're very high-minded ideas here. These are ideas that have been part of the tradition of society for millennia, okay? And what we have going on here is we have Lilith at 3 degrees in Libra, Mars at 5 degrees Gemini, and Pluto retrograde at 0 degrees Aquarius, heading back into Capricorn. So what does that all mean? Well, let's start with Lilith. She's one of my favorite deities. She is the embodiment of the scorned feminine, okay? And it's not just like the scorned woman, quote unquote. This is about cast aside feminine empowerment. Briefly, the story of Lilith is that she was Adam's first wife, and they were both created as equals from the divine spark. But Adam, being the masculine embodiment of the masculine energy, and Lilith being an embodiment of the feminine, Adam thought that he was supposed to be above her. He was supposed to be her leader and her dominant. And she said, I don't see why you think I'm below you, because we are created equals from the spark of God. We are balance. There is no above or below. There is next to each other as equals. Well, he didn't like that. And he went to God and said, hey, the woman won't let me top. I want somebody who will be submissive. So God, you might think, why did God acquiesce to his request? It's because we still have free will. And even if we choose something that's detrimental to us, God will allow us to choose it. So he created for Adam from himself a mate that would always remain submissive to him, because this version of the feminine is flawed like him, not an equal from the spark of God. So we have been functioning as a society with the feminine being submissive, oppressed, because the masculine decided that he was superior. Okay? And we, of course, see that playing out right now in society with women trying to regain their empowerment. That's Lilith coming back. Lilith is the one that is screaming, "Woman, remember your divinity." Okay? It's really irking the men too, because we've seen it for the whole last year, with especially recently with that choosing the bear over the over the man in the forest. Um, Women are trying to regain the autonomy that was taken from them by patriarchal religion. Okay, it wasn't always like this. Only since the patriarchal religions came about. Before that, when religion was a balance between the masculine and the feminine, things were different. Women could own property, women could divorce you, women handled the money, women were autonomous, they could lead, they could teach, they were equal in society. And then when the monotheistic religions came around, they favored Father God over Mother God and scrubbed her from everything. That's where Lilith came in. That's where the idea of the scorned feminine energy came in favor of the trad wife submissive energy. Okay, there's supposed to be a balance to the two, but they're not. So this Lilith coming back into Libra, she had just come through Virgo, and Virgo was a tough one, but it started it started the revolution, because Virgo's main symbolism is the Vestal Virgins, and the Vestal Virgins were priestesses in the temple of the goddess Vesta. So not only were the priestesses forced to remain virginal, but they served the goddess of the home and the family. Vesta was a household goddess. She kept the home fires burning. That's where we get that phrase from. So there had been an upheaval in the idea of what traditional female roles were. And that was when Lilith dragged through Virgo. Now she's in Libra, and I feel like this is a little bit softer energy for Lilith to be in. Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is one of the only other goddesses in the zodiac, and she's the goddess of love and beauty, but she's also the goddess of placating people in order to keep peace. So it's like Lilith is here in Libra, and Libra is more of a kind of trying to keep equilibrium. Okay, but she's pretty much telling Lilith, take a back seat for a minute and let me handle the men. Okay, right now Venus is in Leo, and that's been playing out in the strength card, where we see the sweet, beautiful, angelic, feminine angel in the strength card petting the lion in order to keep him placated, right? It's petting the ego. So there's an energy here of um, just trying to be nice, trying to play nice, and Lilith isn't having it. Lilith wants war. Well, not war, but she wants us to fiercely remember our feminine side, not just soft femininity, because that is an imbalance in the feminine. We have to remember that we're warriors too. And the warrior side that has been pushed down for such a long time, now that it's coming out, it's spooking the men. And that's where Venus comes in, and she's like, shh, it's okay, it's all right, let me pet you, you're fine. Leo, ego, masculine ego, you're fine, let's just calm down. And Lilith is like, no, we need to shake things up. I like to describe Lilith as the big titty goth girlfriend in the zodiac. She comes through. I hear, God, what is that one? I can't remember the song. I think it's Led Zeppelin, but I can't remember the song right now. Yeah, she's just bursting forth like, no, bitch, take up your sword. This has to end. She's at 3 degrees Leo. Now she's in trine with Mars in Gemini. This feels like just fire under the ass, okay? Mars is the god of war. And here comes the goth warrior princess Xena, the Lilith energy, saying, I want to shake things up. And Mars is like, fuck yeah, let's do this. So he's kind of adding fire to the flames here. He's adding grease to the fire here. And he's ready. He's ready to fight. And we are definitely seeing that play out now in politics, where we have now a strong feminine representative coming forward. Everybody's rallying around her. The energy is there. That's Mars. That's passion. That's ambition. That's reigniting a flame. And we are definitely seeing that play out. Now, Mars in Gemini is trine with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And that's interesting because Pluto rules the underworld and Scorpio, the transformer. Scorpio is an aspect of death. He's not the Reaper, but Pluto is the underworld, Hades, and that is where the dead go after they've been harvested. And in order to, when you go to Hades, it's like a holding place. The afterlife is a holding place where the soul reviews things that have happened, reviews the behavior that it had, its views, its actions, its deeds, its conduct while it was alive. And it purges what was learned or what was not needed, and then it has to take account for the lessons it didn't learn. Then, when it's reincarnated, it has to bring those lessons with it so that it can redo those. It's basically deciding at the end of the school year what subjects you passed and what you flunked. And that's what the holding place of Hades does. It then purifies the soul so that it can come back around. I would expand that. It's not just the soul, it's situations, it's topics and things like that. Um, so in this case, Pluto had just come through Capricorn. Pluto goes back and forth quite a bit. It takes a long time. It's in a sign for about 20 years. And it'll go forward and back and forward and back and forward and back. And it kind of just drags up the stuff that we're supposed to learn and let go of. Okay, the transformer. You're supposed to um, change. You're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to burn away the old so that you can become a phoenix and become something new and pure and continue. So now it was dragging ass through Capricorn, which was authority and structure. Boy, did we see that in the last 4 years. Actually, in the last 20 years, we have had this energy of having to let go of what the old structural architecture of society is. And it has been very much dominated by a masculine patriarchy. Now it's coming through into, now it's going backwards from Aquarius back into Capricorn. Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian pursuits. It's seeing people as people instead of just male and female, instead of just small-minded labels. Seeing people as a human race and having rights and freedoms according to just the idea of being in existence. Okay, these are higher minded ideals. And we saw that starting to try to come out. But now that Pluto is dragging back towards Capricorn, we see how a few years ago, how it was dismantling the things that we had progressed to, like with all the LGBT rights and the trans rights, um, more women's rights, more rights for people who not had been unconsidered in the past. Okay, we started expanding the idea of what that structure can hold and what it can support. And when people were trying to expand it as it was going through Aquarius to hold up more people, The Capricorn part of the equation was saying the structure is what it is. It's traditionally been this way for 2,000 years. You cannot change it. Well, when it was dragging through Capricorn, the revolutionary, it was saying, fuck you, yes, we can, and yes, we will. And the two were really in contention about it. Since Pluto takes about 20 years to go through its sign, I kind of really started paying attention to the changes right around 2008, 2009, right around in that area. Coincidentally, that's when Obama was elected. Obama has wonderful zodiac placements. He's a Leo sun with Aquarius rising. So he's a leader, but with the humanity as a whole in mind. And the Capricorn structure, I think what was in Capricorn? I think Saturn was in Capricorn, or Uranus was in Capricorn at the time, and and they were in opposition, and you could really, really see how the structures were being torn apart with this oppositional energy going on. The old structure trying to fight its last gasps, trying to hang on to power, while Aquarius was saying, expand, elevate, free yourself, gain a larger picture. Because to me, Aquarius is like, if I were to describe the air signs, Gemini are the little whirlwinds of air whipping around in the parking lots, right? And they whip up the leaves into beautiful little um, dust devils, and they can get 100 meters high, and they're dynamic and they're gorgeous, and they're like, quote unquote, the epitome of a breath of fresh air. They whip things up, they change things around, and but they fizzle out. That's Gemini energy to me. Libra to me is like where the kites are. They kind of just float way up there, but they're kind of stable right where they are, um, in that layer of air that's high above us. Um, and then Aquarius to me is where the hot air balloons are. They're way high up. They're still in the air. They're still high minded. They're idealistic. They're intellectual, but they see from a higher perspective. So they see people in large groups. And they really do care, but they can't care individually because it would take away from the well-being of everyone as a whole. Um, there was also, air signs also have to do with relationships. And Gemini energy is relating to themselves. Okay, that's why they're two minded. They have to figure out how they relate to whatever information is incoming, and they decide what side they are on. They decide how they feel about it. That's why they like to discuss things with themselves. It's the first spark of a relationship, and the first spark is always the self. And then Libra as an air sign is the first time an energy goes outward for a relationship, but they go outward for one-on-one relationships. So a Libra might have 10 friends in the friend group, but they relate to each one differently. And it's been described as Libras having a different personality for each person that they relate with. And people are like, well, how do we know what their true personality is? And the personality of a Libra is relating to you on your level. So it's not that we make a new personality for you. It's that we gauge your personality and then bring out those aspects in ourselves so that we can relate to you better. Then Aquarius, it doesn't have it doesn't want to do with any of that. Okay. It goes higher than that, and it relates to people as a whole. So that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with energy about relating to others. So with Mars and Gemini, we're really digging deep into how passionately we think about things about ourselves, how we relate to what's happening around us. With Lilith in Libra, it's trying to bring out um, how we relate to the feminine. okay, the feminine energy, and how we would bring that back into the balance. Libra is very much about balance. So she's trying to balance the ego right now with the feminine aspect of um, who do we give to? Like, who also, I wanted to mention that also in Libra is the South Node. South Node in Libra is where we're coming from, which directly is in opposition to the North Node now in Aries. Now, South Node in Libra is saying that we were coming from a position of giving way too much to our relationships, to the partner, and it drained us. And now we have to funnel that into the opposite, back into Aries, which is the first spark of the self. So we're really pulling back and giving more energy into our own vitality. And definitely we can see that playing out in society, where we were saying, women were like, I'm choosing myself and my cat, and we're going to live a happy life, and I'm going to funnel more energy into myself and my own accomplishments, my own stability, my own identity, my health, my mental health, and my security without the masculine. And only when I regain that power will we be able to then have a more balanced relationship with the masculine. That's Aries. So then we have, um, yeah, that's where we are. It's how we're relating to ourselves as feminine energy. Now, I'm not saying, I want to reiterate that yes, it's playing out as men versus women right now, or women versus men right now. But the energy, I want you to maintain, to remember it's energy. It's got nothing to do with gender, because we all have masculine and feminine within us. Okay, that's that's the main tenet of being human, is balancing those two energies within us. Now, everyone has different combinations of it. Like, there, okay, I'll use my chart as an example. I am the feminine. If I would say I am the feminine, let me explain. In the twin flame dynamic, I am the feminine. Okay, but in my chart, I am dominantly masculine energy. I have a lot in Libra, and Libra is a masculine sign. I have and I have some in Leo, and that's a dominant masculine sign. So I have much more masculine energy than I do feminine. However, as a soul, I am a feminine soul. So there are different combinations, and we see that coming out in society, that people are coming forward being their truer selves and trying to express those different combinations. Every one of them is valid, and that's where we're coming into the dredging up of that old societal structure, where we used to separate, that is masculine, that is feminine, act accordingly. But now it's like, well, no, I mean, I'm feminine, but I do I like to work on cars and shoot off fireworks, and I like to, there's masculine aspects about me and my intellect, and I'm not going to shove that down anymore for an apron. And that's what a lot of feminines are looking at right now. Now, masculines, you can be a masculine soul with dominantly feminine energy, and it's those aspects that have been shoved down for millennia. So you also, as masculines, have been victim of this patriarchy, where you cannot be whole as long as you oppress the feminine side of yourself. And it's like because you had to suppress that in yourselves, you want us to be the balance to that by being more feminine. But it's not supposed to be that way. Each person is supposed to be balanced within themselves. And that's what this grand trine right now is dealing with. So we're going to go to the cards and see how they have been dealt out. Again, we got the Hierophant twice. We've got Judgment and the Emperor. And out of 4 cards, we've got 1, 2, 3 are major arcana, And then with the clarifiers, 2 are major arcana. So let's get into it. We have the Hierophant here, which is Taurus energy, okay? This is tradition and structure. It's what keeps the home stable. It what keeps things comfortable. It's what keeps everybody content, okay? So there is an issue here with the structure that keeps things content. Taurus is feminine energy. On top of that, we got the Eight of Swords, which is bound up in your thoughts and in your mind. This is Libra energy. Yeah. 2, 3, and 4 is Gemini. 5, 6, and 7 is Libra. And I give 8, 9, and 10 to, okay, so Aquarius. So this is, whenever I deal with the Eight of Swords, I always hear there are no good options. But it has expanded to that more in order to incorporate the idea of all of these swords in the sword suit are personal mental issues, okay? And I'm not saying mental health issues, just mental issues, thoughts, your stance on things, the information that you gather, how you feel about it. It's also doubts and fears and things that you allow other people to tell you is the truth and how you deal with that. All that is mental issues that are represented by the swords. In this case, there's the Eight of Swords upright, which means your hands are bound, your eyes are bound, and you're just surrounded by these swords. One of the things that one of my decks of cards has, I think it's the vice versa deck, where on the reverse side of that, what we don't see behind the Eight of Swords, because all the cards are usually just from the front, from face on. What we don't see behind the Eight of Swords is that one of the swords behind her is able to cut the tie on her hands if she would just move her hands up and down, right? So that's telling us that even though we are surrounded by things that are we are surrounded by ideas that are trying to quote unquote tell us what to think, we have the one sword, which always represents the sword of truth, that will cut us free. All we have to do is take it up. And if we remove the swords from our quote unquote, our hands are tied, if we remove that tie, then we can remove the blindfold that we have in the card. On top of that, we got the Hierophant again, but from the back, from behind. I'm incorporating a new deck. It's called the Vice Versa deck, and these pictures are not only one side from the front, but what those symbols mean from if you would shift your perspective to behind what that card is showing, the symbolism behind that. And I will show you what I mean. So here on the Hierophant, we got the Eight of Swords and then the Hierophant again, but in reverse, from behind. So this is the Hierophant from the front, okay? Typical, the Pope on the chair and the 2 students in front of him and his key of wisdom, right? But if you turn it around and see from behind him, it's the back of his chair. You have a baby with a key. You have a Willendorf feminine, a Willendorf goddess, which is those ancient sculptures of big, round, fat-tittied women. That's the feminine. There's your Lilith right there. And then an apple split in 2. An apple is not traditionally an apple is like the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? But it wasn't always an apple. It's just that's the symbol that we put to it in modern times. I mean, it was like a quince. I mean, at some point I think it was a fig, because Adam and Eve used fig leaves to cover themselves once they ate of the fruit and they realized they were naked. They used the leaves of the tree to make coverings of themselves. That's why God was like, "Who told you you were naked?" And they were like, "Well, our eyes were open." And he's like, "Why?" And they were like, "Because we ate of the fruit." And it wasn't just a story about disobedience. That the church pushed that idea that it was a story of disobedience. It wasn't. It's a story of choice. They had a choice, and they chose to eat of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And what is the fruit but the opening of the eyes? It's the fruit of knowledge. Knowledge is the fruit. And so once they ate the fruit, they chose to experience the knowledge of good and evil, but you cannot experience evil in heaven. So God says, because you made this choice, you have to leave my presence. It wasn't a punishment. It was him telling them that now that they made their choice, this is what you have signed up for, and I cannot prevent you from seeing through your consequences, because you made your free will, and I cannot infringe on your free will. So their free will was to experience good and evil. And in order to do that, he had to send them out of heaven, which meant they had to come to earth and toil in the earth, and you know the rest of the story, right? And that's where the apple comes from. I don't know why they had me explain all that. Oh, that does have to do with Lilith also. So the key to the Hierophant from behind, and I am going to keep using that phrase because if I use in reverse, it means upside down usually. But these cards have a back, so I'm going to say from behind. The key to this is that when I was it's interesting because when I was looking this card up in the accompanying book, one of the phrases it used to describe this side of the card is that you must remember your divinity. So along with in this doctrinal structure that the religious organization keeps us in, part of I'm trying to find a word. Hang on. I can't find it. Damn it. What? Part of the teachings is that you are not divine. You are a sinner. You are of flesh. You are of the earth. And whenever you talk about the fact that humanity is a spark of the divine, they think, oh, you're trying to equate yourself with God, and that's sinful, that's blasphemous. But it's true. The spark in ourselves that is the human soul emanated from the Creator. And we are down here having a fleshy, human, dirty experience where we fuck around and we treat each other like shit, and we have to deal with all the consequences of us being here. Okay? But this card is from behind is saying you forget your divinity. It also says, I wrote it down. It says, free your mind. It says, rebel against, quote unquote, thou shalt. It says, rebel against thou shalt, quotes. Meaning whatever kind of you shall do this, thou shalt do that. This card is reminding us you're more than that. You come from more than that. The teachings were more than that. God wants more than that for you. You came here for more than that. Thou shalt not. That's man-made bullshit. And it's interesting that this came out because it's the high priest, right? The Pope, the Hierophant, is also called the high priest. Later on, over here, we've got the high priestess. What was I just talking about? Balancing the masculine and the feminine. The high priest and the high priestess are here. The next set of cards you dropped a card called diversity, which I equate to temperance, which is mixing and blending and bringing things to integration, okay? On top of that, you have the 10 of Swords, which is the ending to a painful cycle. I really like this because in the 8 of Swords, we were still in that suffering, that mental prison. The mental prison of the 8 of Swords surrounding us. What we're supposed to do, what we think, what we want, what we decide. You know what I mean? It's like it's like I was saying, that it's a mental prison, and all those swords was like rules and regulations and information, and you do it this way, and then gossip and doubts and fears, because if we process, everybody feels differently about things like that. So there was a moment, not a moment, there's an energy of, well, I don't know where I fit in this. So it's like you're kind of squishing yourself mentally, like, um what is the truth? Remember, swords represent truth and clarity, but there was 8 of them around, and so the more swords there are, the more confusing it is about which one is the truth. Now we're at the Ten of Swords, and that is the absolute end of this cycle. Okay? The Ten of Swords is somebody who is it's like always depicted as somebody who's dead on the ground and the swords are stuck in them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 swords in the person. But in symbolically, it's not that the person is dead. Maybe an aspect of you is dead now because that is ended. Okay? And what are we looking at? Pluto is in Aquarius. So Pluto is the energy of all of that has died is going through purification now. That's the end of the cycle. On top of that, you've got the five of cups from behind. So we all know what the Five of Cups is. It's regret and grief over something that's lost. Cups being something that is emotionally fulfilling, or something about the emotions, something about the feelings, something about the feminine aspect of things. Because water and emotions are is feminine. It is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Now, I'm not sure all of those are feminine, though. I think Scorpio is masculine. So, but from behind, so this is the Five of Cups from the front. Okay, it's a person that's mourning the dumping of those 3 cups. Are they empty in this card? No, they're spilled. Okay, so this is something that we had at one time seen was emotionally fulfilling, but now that it's tipped over, it's soaked up into the ground and it's no longer full. But traditionally in this card, he always forgets that there's that Two of Cups behind him. That Two of Cups is love repurified. Okay, that is when you have a Two of Cups, it is a brand new offer of love. And that brand new offer is love before life has a chance to taint it. It's new, it's sincere, it isn't clouded by anything, there's no obligations. It's a lower vibration of the Lovers card, and the Lovers is connection and commitment before life has a chance to test it. And then the vibration above the Lovers is the Devil card, where it's the Lovers enchained by obligation, responsibility, promises they made, situations that they created that they now can't get out of. It could be addiction, it could be codependency. That's the Devil card. So the Two of Cups is love in purity. All right. And he forgets that that is what's behind him. Some cases, though, I believe, it may not be that he forgets it's behind him, it's that he's taking a moment to mourn the loss of the other 3 cups. But even he knows that the water in those cups was poison. So even though he had to let those 3 cups go, he's taking a moment to regret that it comes to this, but that he realizes the Two of Cups must be preserved. So the cups behind him are being protected. So when we dealt this card, you actually got the reverse, the from behind, okay? Two of Cups from behind. And in this case, he is in the darkness, whereas in the other side, he's in the day. That's the ego. That's the light. But here in the dark, he's in the feminine energy and under the moon. See, his cloak is sparkling under the moonlight. So that is truth under the ego. Okay, behind him there's a rose, which represents love reblooming, and the Two of Cups upright means that there is love in purity that he's protecting. So this card is saying turn back and turn back to love, the origin, what it was originally, and take those cups and share them again. Okay. Next to that, so we got diversity, which is blending and integration, 10 of swords, which is the end of a cycle, and the two of cups from behind, which means turn back, look behind you, and take those two cups again and start again, because those two cups have love and purity, and mix them. In temperance is holding two cups, mixing them back and forth, reintegrating. It's also called the alchemist. To me, he's a higher vibration of the magician. This is alchemy in very ethereal things. These are knowledge and thoughts and emotions and things like that, whereas the magician is alchemizing material things in the 3D. Temperance is trying to reintegrate pure water, and that's what this Two of Cups card is representing. Two cups of pure emotion, pure water. This is the waters from source, so they can be nothing but pure. So in temperance, he's mixing those back and forth. He's like, okay, that didn't work. Those three cups had to go. There was poison in the water. So now I have to repurify and remix and all that. So that's what the Two of Cups from behind here means. So then the next set of cards you got is you got Judgment, which is results, decisions, and finality. And then you got the King of Swords. I love the King of Swords. Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to the party. Oh yeah, Hierophant twice, that's Taurus, and that's where Uranus is. Uranus, let me back up for just a second. Uranus rules Aquarius, and he is the rebel. He's the mutineer. He's the upheaver. So he's upheaving all these social structures in Taurus, all these traditions. Now we have Judgment here with final decisions and results. King of Swords is Aquarius energy, and that's where Uranus is right now, upheaving. No, that's where Pluto is right now, purifying what is dead. So the King of Swords, I absolutely love the King of Swords. In the Animal Wisdom deck, he's represented by the eagle. And the eagle, he flies high and sees all. He brings messages from the high intellect down to, when the eagle lands and interacts on the ground, he brings high intellectual knowledge from the divine down to the people, or down to the self, actually. So the King of Swords here, he is judge and jury, but he is not the executioner. The Queen of Swords is the executioner. She's the one that swings the blade. That's why in her card, as you approach her, her sword is upright, ready to cut heads off, right? But the King of Swords, his sword is downward, which means he's in a reflective phase. He's listening, he's debating, he's deliberating, and he's going to make his judgment. But he does not swing the sword. He's very intellectual, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So there is whenever I see King of Swords, I always hear executive decisions are being made. Okay? King of Swords. Cool and detached, intriguing and analytical, rational man who prefers logic over passion. He's articulate, liberal, intellectual, or intelligent, independent, confident, and unconventional. That's another thing I love about the King of Swords. He is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the rebel. He is the upheaver, the revolutionary, yeah, we've done it this way for a million years, but let's fucking try something new. He's expressive, he's creative. It's like, okay, so I see this a lot coming out with how we dress and express our individuality. And I remember, was it last year, there was a lot of talk about with the drag queens and stuff, It's like there was a lot of Republican conservative talk about trying to really regulate how people dress. You know, men don't belong in dresses, women do, blah blah blah. And even though nothing has come out in law any at this point, um, you could you can you could really determine that the underneath of what people um were trying to salvage as their structure was this separateness of gender, right? And that's where Uranus and Aquarius came in, going, why? Fucking why? Well, especially if you think about it, how they're like, well, boys aren't supposed to wear pink, they're supposed to wear blue, and only girls wear pink. Why? Boys are supposed to wear pants and girls are supposed to wear dresses. Why? Up until the 20s and 30s, children were dressed unisexually in dresses. And pink and blue didn't come out as designating gender colors until like the 40s. These are all stupid, brand new, things that are tripping us up and making us separate. And people were like, I don't want to fucking do that. You know, I love that a very simple, very, very tiny, simple example of this is how more and more men are painting their nails. That is the simplest example of Uranus, Uranus, Aquarius upheaval energy I can give an example of, especially because, dealing with the gender roles. Aquarius dealing with the gender roles, that's the simplest one I can show you, is the men painting their fingernails. And other men are all appalled by it. And it's like, it's fucking paint. It's expressive for a couple days and then that's it. And it's like, well, men aren't supposed to be like that. Men aren't supposed to be expressive. Men aren't supposed to like color. Men aren't supposed to like fun. That old generational bullshit is trying to be weeded out, and it's just the structure is really fighting it, okay? So here we have the King of Swords passing judgment on the judgment card about what should be um that truth, okay? That's the sword of truth. On top of that, you drop the King of Pentacles from behind, okay? So I love the King of Pentacles. He is the last king before the Emperor proper. And why is that significant in this spread? Because the anchor position is the Emperor. um Oh, wait. Did I mess that up? I messed that up. I'm sorry. We've got Judgment on the King of Swords, and then the clarifier on top of that was the High Priestess. So remember I said we've got the High Priest and the High Priestess in the same row. And the High Priest, the Hierophant on the Hierophant in the same column. Okay, so masculine energy, and then we've got the feminine next to it on Judgment and the King of Swords. So remember I said the king doesn't swing the sword, the queen does. So here we have the High Priestess. Now, I always used to interpret the High Priestess as keeping your motives quiet to yourself, knowing what you know and not having to say you know what you just know what you know. I also use the phrase that she has the receipts, because she always has these scrolls all around her of the truth, and that's where she logs all our deeds, right? The scrolls on the High Priestess represent the scrolls in the Akashic records. And the Akashic records are the long memory of God. They call them the memory of God, but it's an ethereal, ephemeral place or idea. It's a mental construct of everything that is thought of, said, accomplished, done, intended. Every possibility in existence has a place in this big library, and it's often described as the mind of God or the memory of God or the library of existence. Okay, each one of those scrolls that the high priestess holds is something that was written in the Akashic records. When it's a one-on-one personal reading, or it has to do with the collective, this is your own personal Akashic records. So these are scrolls that you need to go back into, maybe in meditation and contemplation, and decide what it is that you need to know about yourself, about your condition, about your situation. In this case, we've got the high priestess upright or from the front. And like I said, I usually interpret the high priestess as keeping your secrets. Okay. But this time when I was researching this card, I am appreciative that they gave me a little bit more on the interpretation, and they were telling me that since she sits between these two pillars, one is white and one is black, and her floor is separated into white and black, and she sits in the in between. That is a clear, they gave me a clear statement that the truth is somewhere in between the black and white. So that's what you have to consider when you're trying to get out of this Eight of Swords mentality that was in the beginning, things that have you bound. What is the truth? What do I choose? The High Priestess is reminding us the truth is somewhere in between the black and the white. And in order to figure out what that is, look at the card. You have to go to the book. Go back into the Akashic records. Go back into the ancient knowledge. Go back into the collective unconscious and the ancient symbols, and you will find what the truth is there. Okay? Anchor position here. You have the Emperor, which is order and logic and stability and plans. Okay? And like I said, this is the epitome of the masculine energy. This is the last incarnation of masculine energy. But next to that, we dropped the Page of Wands, which is the absolute first spark of masculine energy. This is baby masculine versus adult masculine. This is the beginning and the end, the two ends of the opposition. And what were we dealing with? Oh, a couple days ago, we're just coming out of a hard opposition between the Sun in Leo and Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius? What's that? Leo and Aquarius are the opposites, right? Yeah, okay. So we were coming out of a hard opposition between those two. So here we have the two ends of the spectrum, okay? We have the Emperor, who is established logic, plans, and stability and law and order. Okay, this is the way things are. This is the end-all be-all of the structure. Okay, that's Emperor energy. And then here we have the brand new baby, Aries energy, Page of Wands, coming in brand new, going, I want to do something different. I literally am starting to understand Aries energy more, because, we do have that North Node, South Node, Libra, Aries opposition. Aries is Libra's direct opposite, whereas Aries comes forth and is like, here I am, it's all about me, my needs, my wants, who I am, I'm here. It's that spark of vitality. It's energetic. It's the first spark of an idea, of a life, pages are also messengers. Let me switch gears here for a second. So pages come in with a message, and this is a message of rebellion, I heard. It's a message of rebellion. It's the old and the new. Okay? It's grandpa and brand new toddler baby. And clarifying that this is really masculine energy here. This is all three of these cards here are masculine energy in the anchor position, and you've got the King of Pentacles from the vice versa deck from behind. So we've got all three levels, grade levels, all three of masculine energy. We've got the brand new Knave of Wands in the Page of Wands here. And then we've got, so that's the beginning. That's the first spark of self. That's ruled by Mars. When did we say Mars is in trine with, oh shit, what did we say here? Mars is trine, oh yeah, Mars is trine with Lilith. See? Lilith in Libra, 3 degrees Libra. And then we got Mars in Gemini, trine with Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, so can I, nope, that's Capricorn. So we got Capricorn, Aries, and Capricorn again. The other card we've got on the anchor position is the King of Pentacles from behind. And when I was researching this, it was saying that this is personal well-being, good health, and spirits. Good health and good spirits. So what I got from this is that with the first card we dealt was the Emperor. That's the end, the last incarnation of the masculine power. And then we got the Page of Wands, which is a new rebirth, a new generation, a brand new I heard a brand new version of masculine energy here. And it's still a baby. It's still expressing. It's still learning. It's still learning to walk. Right now, it's kind of concerned with its survival. That's survival mode. Aries is the root chakra, and that's base needs for survival. So out of this old guard emperor energy, order and logic and stability, this is the way things have always been done, then it birthed the new cycle, right? Pluto energy, something that came through, was harvested, purified, and now it's coming back into rotation as Aries energy. And here we are with Aries as the Page of Wands, brand new, coming from the old structure. And that's very oppositional energy, right? Two ends of the spectrum, two ends of the teeter-totter, two sides of the scale, and the in between that will be a balance. Excuse me. And the card that we dropped was the masculine in between those two as the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is the last king before the Emperor proper, but number of degrees above the Page of Wands. Okay, so here we've got masculine energy in balance. Okay, he is the provider and the nurturer, and everything in his kingdom is abundant. There is enough for everyone. There is room for everyone. Everyone is cared for, and I just heard everyone has a place in the structure. Okay? Everyone has a place in the structure. This is the balanced masculine. Instead of the masculine that we're dealing with now, which is, men act like this, women act like that. It's very exclusionary. It's very, you have, in order to belong, you have to conduct in this way. And there is no room for deviation. That's the Emperor structure. And the Page of Wands structure is the one coming through with phoenix feathers and painted nails, and I'm going to act the way I want to, and all that old bullshit can die because I'm here now. That's Aries energy. And right in the in-between is the stable King of Pentacles saying, no, no, no. I worked really hard for balance. And there is room for everyone at this table because the King of Pentacles lords over abundance. Abundance for everyone. Okay? Now, we dealt the King in reverse, and it's still or not in reverse, from behind, and it's still a wonderful energy. Whereas from the front, he's in the nighttime, okay? And again, nighttime, under the moon, under the stars, under the ego, is feminine energy. And here from the reverse, he's in the day. So this is back to masculine energy with abundance behind him. So this is personal well-being, good health, and spirit, and that's for everyone. Okay, so I guess this is like saying you have to walk the in between, with the high priestess saying the truth is somewhere in between the black and white, and that's where you find balance, and that's where there's the enough room for everyone in between stability and order and expression and new life. Okay, and in the balance, we've got the King of Pentacles from behind saying there is plenty for everyone. Look at my garden. Okay, this is the king on the throne in the Ten of Pentacles card. So where the Ten of Pentacles is generational wealth for you and your family, the king is wealth for the whole kingdom. Okay? It's even more than the Ten of Pentacles. He presides over abundance for his whole kingdom. So this is saying that somewhere in the in between fresh new expression and order and stability, there is abundance for everyone in the kingdom. All right? I hope this is resonating. We're not done yet. Don't click off yet. Oh, we're already over an hour. Damn. Well, I try. We're almost done. I hope this is resonating. I hope the messages are reaching everyone for their highest good. Not all messages will resonate with every person, so leave what doesn't resonate now, but keep it in mind because it might make sense at a later time. You are all at different points in your timelines. Like I say, I can read the script, but I cannot tell you individually what character you are. Only you know that one. If you are vibing with my content, please leave a like, leave a comment, share, subscribe. It helps the algorithm get my content seen. I am trying my hardest to build this so that it is something that is an income for me. I'm almost 50 and I've had a lot of jobs, but apparently this is supposed to be one of my most important ones, is to share all this with the collective. So I'm trying to make this a little bit lucrative. Down in the description, you'll find my email. You can contact me and we can talk about a one question personal read, just a short one. I'm not doing really long personal reads, but we can do a short one or a one question birth chart inquiry. My first discipline is astrology. So even though I like to think that I'm pretty good with the cards, I am an astrologer by trade. So you can contact me and we can do either one of those for about $15. Also down there, you'll find links to my donation pages. I have a Venmo and a Cash App. I appreciate anything that might land there. And any interaction will boost the algorithm, whatever this ephemeral algorithm everybody likes to talk about, to be seen. So we're going to go on to the ancestor messages that we dropped. And I dealt 2 cards for the collective. Oh, I forgot to bookmark them. Damn it. We've got the Animal Guardian and the Fire Guardian. I'm really interested to see what they have to say because it doesn't initially feel like it has anything to do with the reading, even though sometimes once we get to these, they all really tie in together. Okay, the Animal Guardian is trust your instincts. Okay. Animal Guardian. It says, trust the powerful animal spirit within and learn more about yourself and your talents. It says, you have a powerful animal within that can be wild, protective, instinctive, and even calm. Animals don't second guess how they feel. They just express it. And you can learn from that. When this card appears, it's important to connect with how you really feel. how you want to feel, and what you really need. Take the time to connect with your animal energy and express it naturally. Let even the fiercest energy move through you before returning to your natural state. It will teach you a lot about your gifts and how you can grow. And then you had Fire Guardian. Got a lot of guardians here. You got two guardians. It says ignite your passions. This is the Aries energy also. And like I said, we are, even though this is a grand trine in air, about how we think and feel, how we think about things and relate to others and to ourselves, we are dealing with that. We got the sun in Leo right now. We've got the North Node in Aries. I think Sagittarius is kind of quiet, but Jupiter is, oh shit, I forgot where Jupiter is. Anyways, we do have a lot of fire energy in play in the zodiac right now. It says ignite your passions. Does it connect with your desires? The sparks could lead to something beautiful. That's that Page of Wands energy. You're being guided by your angels to connect with the powerful energy of desire at this time. If you have recently set an intention to explore your sexual side or become more sexually open, the fire of desire can burn away any old setbacks that are preventing you from expressing that part of your nature. If you're in a relationship, this card can indicate a great spiritual and sexual connection. There's room for everybody at the table. Where's Aquarius? Oh, these are all fire and earth. So Emperor is, well, Emperor is traditionally Aries energy. I also give it to Capricorn because to me, this is interesting because the Knave of Wands is Aries and the King of Pentacles is Capricorn. And here's the Emperor, the blending of the two. Aries and Capricorn. Now Aries, because the throne of the emperor has rams on it, like the sheep, right? Rams with their horns, and they're very I don't know. They lead with their head, and they're very stubborn to me, right? But Aries being a brand new energy, it's the baby of the sign. So to me, the baby or toddler is not a good energy to be an emperor yet. It's not, it's a baby. So I give emperor energy to Capricorn because it's the last king before the emperor. He's stable. He's let's see, financially stable, he's loyal and focused, he's a provider and passionate, and all those good things that a good king is supposed to be. And you only get that through experience, which Aries doesn't have yet. So I think it's really interesting that the three aspects of masculinity are here: the baby, the king, and the emperor. We will end with some theme cards to get some final messages for us. I think it's really interesting that this masculine fiery energy is coming out for the air signs with a grand trine there. Let's get some final messages, please, for the air signs: Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius with the grand trine in air. Dealing with a lot of fire. You might have fire in your chart. I have fire in mine. I'm a quadruple Libra with Sun and 4 other planets in Libra, but I am Capricorn rising and Leo moon. So those might be in your chart too. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Aries are all on the field. Plus, we've got Pisces here with the High Priestess. Please give us some extra messages for... Okay, I'll look that up. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Jupiter popped out again, and I was like, where the hell is Jupiter right now? I have no idea, so I will look that up. They want me to talk about it. So I will. I'm sorry. I know we're way past an hour, so I'm trying to hurry, but now I'm getting clumsy. So let me just calm down a minute. Again, please leave a like. Please leave a comment. Go into my description for my email and leave a donation if it so moves you. Ooh, okay, okay. Thank you. Yep, let's keep going. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. And we'll stop there. That one